We are live, Scott. I told you when you told me you actually have a freelance assignment
Well,
that
now,
I really envied you.
hang on. Let me
Okay.
back up
All right.
because it is my writer is doing a pitch for somebody on Twitter posted the idea they wanted to do a Fletcher Hanks anthology.
Yes.
I don't really, that's not really, I mean, I'll do it. Well, what happened is my writer contacted me. Greg Wright contacted me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in drawing this if I wrote something?" And I said, "Yes." Now, he is submitting an idea. I don't know how concrete this is yet. So
Okay.
I wouldn't consider it in the bag. And in fact, I saw on Twitter that the guy that originally posted this, who was like I think an editor at some small comic company or something. I don't think it was a Boom, but it was something like that. I don't think it
Hmm.
was Boom. Anyway, and they said, "Wow, the response has been so much. We may do several anthologies." So I would say if you want to put your hat in there, Ellis, you may be able to find somebody that wants you to do
Well,
something for it. Because you were telling me that's the only thing I've ever done that you'd be jealous of, which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
funny.
Could you
uh,
could you that
I'm, I,
guy?
I, I, I will
Oh,
be completely honest with you.
uh
My goal, one of my goals in life, is to never make anyone jealous of me.
huh.
I don't want to be the kind of I mean, I don't want to be the kind of person that people are like, "Oh my gosh," and I don't, and it's not even from a standpoint of I don't want people to dislike me. I don't really want people to feel, and I know you don't mean it that way, but I don't want people to, uh, you know, feel like I'm getting a better break than them or whatever.
Well, that's a big
I've
part of what social
realized.
media is about. Saying, "Ooh, look at this hamburger
Sure.
I had today." Too bad
Look
you
at
aren't
this.
eating a good hamburger.
Look at. Yeah. Uh, You know what this reminds me of? So
What?
at work, we have we have multiple ways to see pictures of fellow employees. For example, you can look in the email and there'll be a little thumbnail there. You can look at this thing called Recognize Me that puts a picture on there. You can put there. You can go through there. You can find about three different pictures of me. You could probably find about three different pictures of me. It's all me, but it's just through different applications that we use at work, right? And there was this girl who posted these pictures, or there was this girl on there, and my department, one of the guys that interacted with her, and I said, "Hey, come." He's a younger guy. I said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And I pulled up the picture that was attached to her email, and I go, "Okay, you look. What do you think?" "Oh, nice looking girl." And then we found the other pictures that were more candid. It was obviously that I don't know if they were photoshopped or airbrushed or whatever, but it was just that social media thing of, and it wasn't social media, but it still was this idea of presenting something that's not actually true,
Yeah.
you know. And I mean, I don't really live to. I mean, some people like. I don't really. It's just like there was this. There was somebody on Twitter, or was it Twitter? I don't know, on social media that was like, apparently this is an art, and you may recognize this. This is an artist that uh, works for Marvel, and somebody said, "Well, how if the business is so good, how you doing?" And their comment was, "Well, I have several hundred shares of Disney, and we make $1 million or $1 billion every couple months, so I'm doing great." Well, I have more than that in stock in Disney, and I don't claim because they're doing well, I'm doing well. To say I have a couple hundred shares of Disney stock,
Hmm.
and so I'm doing great. I mean, and the company's doing great. It completely dodged the question of how comics were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had nothing. But it was just this weird flex. I don't like that. I try not to do. And it's funny because, like, at work I'm a supervisor, and I work around people that you would say I outrank. I'm using air quotes. You can't see them. Outrank
Hmm.
But I always try and be, I'm always the guy that when water was seeping under the door down in the mold making room, I was the guy shot backing it up. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't, anyway. So I don't even know how we got to start talking about that. Oh, I will say this though. I'm gonna tell. I will tell. Oh, because you were talking about you're jealous of that freelancing
Of
gig.
that job, yeah.
Or that would I think what you said was that was something you would be. That's one of the few things I've ever talked about that you were like, hey, I wouldn't
I
mind
wouldn't
doing
mind
that. But
doing
that's something
that.
you would want to do. I
Yeah.
would say if you look around on Twitter, you might find a writer that's looking for an artist you might be able to attach yourself to if you're really
I,
interested in it. You'd have
I'd
to work
rather,
though.
I'd rather write my own. Because I
Oh,
mean,
there you go. Write your own and submit it.
yeah, yeah.
So I won't say
That
the
seems like
so
a
the
great
one.
public domain thing that could be exploited. That whole Fletcher Hanks idea.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. I mean, all the characters. The sad thing is they know they have contact with his family, and Fantagraphics did that book that reprinted everything that he's done,
Hmm.
and I don't know if his family ever got a dime out of that thing.
Really?
And so
Well,
they make
that's
this.
interesting
Oh,
because
not no.
that guy in the,
Why would they?
yeah, I guess not. They're
I
not
mean,
really
maybe the
doing the work
maybe
unless they help to find the stuff.
I don't think they did. I think in the end the guy tracked down his family and interviewed him, and they were basically like, "Yeah, he was a jerk,"
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah,
know that they made any money. It's kind of a weird deal because his stuff is really terrible, and I don't think it'd be popular except for that Fantagraphics book. It just struck everybody as kind of weird, you know.
Well, seeing it all together, you realize that the guy was a bit of a stylist. I mean, he had it
Oh,
figured out how
absolutely.
what he was willing to do for his booze money.
Yeah, and
I
some
think he
of it.
was a drinker. Yeah.
Yeah, man, something like that. I don't. I have that book. I checked. The library has one copy of it.
One
It's an
copy.
expensive book, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah.
Because at one point it wasn't, and I guess it's gone out of print. And so because I was going to buy it but it was like $90. I'm like, I need my shelf space more than that.
Yeah, it's a big old book.
$90.
Well,
There's
they
a
came out with
there's
two
a
of
book
them, right?
there were two of them, and then they made a compilation that collects all of it.
Oh wow, wow. That must be
That's the one the
hard
library
to
has.
pick up at once. Yeah, that could kill somebody. It fell off the top
Oh, it's
shelf.
not that. Yeah, it's not that big. No, it's only about that thick. I mean,
Huh,
it's probably. I bet it's less than 2 inches thick. Let me see.
okay.
I got a ruler right here. It's probably about 2 inches. So it's a thick book, but it's not like an omnibus or anything. You know. So so I have some other news.
Okay.
Now this is just for listeners of the show because I've been told not to disclose any of this, but we have final numbers for issue 1 of Heaven's Rejects.
Let's hear this.
Okay, so a few weeks ago I told you it's 2,500 copies, right?
Wow.
Do you want to take a guess on that? Was the 2 weeks ago? I think I told you that.
Hmm.
I think I believe the final order is in. Do you want to take a guess on what it is now?
Hmm. Oh.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm trying to be smart, and I have such difficulty with that. Okay, let's see. Let me think. Let's go with 8K. How
Oh
many?
gosh, I wish.
How many? How many?
I wish it was. No, it's 3,800.
Okay, that's pretty
So it
good.
went
That's
up.
pretty damn
It went
good.
up over. It went up over. Yeah, they Greg had told me that they thought it would go up about 1,000. It went up closer to 1,300. So
Uh-huh.
you know,
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, yeah, and plus they're going to sell it at shows. It'll be sold at shows and stuff. So it should have a long tail on it, and it will ultimately be in bookstores when it's collected. You know,
Yeah.
if it makes it. You know, if something doesn't happen, but.
Well, I titled this one, Scott, AI generated program. And Gene Hull has dropped in and said, "Hey guys, which one of you is the AI and which is the actual human
Well,
in
I
this
was
man versus machine episode?" Go ahead and tell us about your AI experience, and I'll see if I can go ahead and find it. I'll find it and share it.
Oh, can you find it? If you can find it and share, that'd be great. I downloaded, or I got onto Discord and got onto the Midjourney whatever Discord and messed with their night. Now you can only do 25 images, and out of 25 I did 3 that I thought were worth keeping.
And you're doing them on your phone or your iPad?
Yeah, I did them on my phone.
Okay.
You don't do anything. All you do is put in so what happens, Ellis, is you sign on to it, and it puts up a dialog box, and you put in prompts, whatever you want. My first prompt, I think, was giant robot attacking New York City, people running, and I got something, and it was my first one actually came out pretty good, I thought, for what it was. Oh, and I put oil painting. Painting.
That was your filter. Cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it was all part of it, but I wanted to give it I didn't want it to look like a photo, and so I mean, you saw it. It was decent. I think you said, "I've tried to paint that loose my entire life," or something like that.
I said it was better than any painting I'd ever done digitally.
Well, but the composition isn't there. It has no composition. It's just, and it is very abstract and it looks like speed painting. Like when these guys talk about the guys that really do speed painting, not the ones that think they're speed painting and they're really just painting loose. But it had no composition, in my opinion. It was just kind of the robot it wasn't near as, and it was a straight on view. There was no drama to it.
I'm sharing this now. I'm showing. This is the one that I told Scott that's better than.
Now that's the last one I did.
Yeah, that's the last one.
The red. Do you have the red one?
Yeah, got it right here. Oops.
Show the red one.
So this is the one you started with.
That's the first one I did, and so the prompts for that were like oil painting, oil painting, giant robot, fighting, New York City. I didn't put people in that one, just New York City.
I tell you what, it reminds me. One of my great heroes is Ashley Wood, and this has got so much Ashley Wood going for it. It's hard to quantify how much is in there.
Yeah, but there's no. I mean, the robot's right in the center of the page. It's not really doing anything. It doesn't really look like a robot. It's just kind of a.
Well,
it looks like a machine.
What's amazing is it looks like it. If you just did a whole bunch of textured stuff and then lassoed little areas of like your drawing that you just covered up methodically with parts of the textured areas. It looks like that because when you get really close to it, I'll see if I'll get real close to it. It does, like you say, you can call it falling apart, but it's actually kind of cool that the abstraction is so high.
I mean, the style is cool, but if I could paint like that, I would not paint that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd do robot, but it'd be stomping or there'd be some action to it. There's no action to this.
Artists are always trying to, they'll look at something, they'll say, yeah, I dig that. I want to do something like that. And then they find themselves incapable of it. And I guess you could just methodically say, I am going to do it.
Because you can't copy somebody's art. You have to copy their influences.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
you can't say, well, I like their art, and you study their art, because you'll never be able to copy them. Now, this was the last one I did. I don't think you had the third one. I did a pencil drawing of a mermaid that was just like this girl's face.
It's around
Had some
somewhere.
scaly stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not that pretty. Now, this is a giant robot attacking Times Square with people running.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, it's kind of cool. You know what I thought about doing?
It's interesting because you think automatically that it's got actual, what do you call the Japanese alphabet or whatever. You think that it's that sort of stuff, but it's actually, it's
kanji.
just, it's actually just Greeked. It's not saying anything. It's Greeked everywhere you look. You know, that looks very Asian, but I'm sure that, you know, it's whatever it was picking for its cut and paste or however it does it. And this thing right here, this is like a wacky perspective. My mouse isn't showing up, I don't think. Is it? No. But
I can see your mouse.
Oh, you can. Let's see.
I can see your mouse.
Huh. I don't see it. Anyway, that one billboard above the guy, the foreground character's head.
Yeah.
It looks like that might be off, but it's acceptable as
right, because the style's so loose.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
To me, it kind of looks like if Sid Mead were like really high and he did a painting.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
something.
And also the color complements are gorgeous. And how does that one billboard that is splashed on the ground as well as a reflection among the crowd? How does the AI figure that out? That's a
I don't know. And the people, and I put people running away, and they're not running. There's literally no action in this thing.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm thinking about doing, because I have these images. I mean, you know. So what I'm thinking about doing is, remember, like not long ago, I found all those short stories that I'd written. And somebody said, "Oh, you should put it on. Amazon." I'm thinking about scanning them, and I got to figure out what I have. If I have more than one, I may just have one. But if I have multiples, I may scan them and use this for a book cover.
Yeah. Well, heck, that is a
Why
perfect.
not, man?
Yeah.
Why not?
You own it, right?
Well, you can't copyright it, but nobody can. The computer created it. So somebody could take this and duplicate it exactly.
I did a backwards image search on it and didn't find it under your name and didn't find it at all. I was looking for somebody that actually had done it before, and this being a ripoff. But no, it didn't lead me to the original artist anywhere.
Well, and that's what people are saying. They're saying, "Oh, it's plagiarizing other artists."
It might be.
It might be, but I haven't been able to. I put in some artists and tried to get it to duplicate styles, and I think I was too specific.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do something that was a studio. I wanted a Studio Ghibli style unicorn. It had, or not unicorn. Sorry, I'm looking at Zippy the Unicorn.
You can call me Betty, and Betty, when you call me, you can call me Al. It's the AI.
I just said AI. Yeah, I tried to get a Studio Ghibli style unicorn, and I couldn't get any. Or I did it again, mermaid. Sorry, and and I couldn't get it in any kind of style that, you know. I don't know. You have to subscribe. I ran through my free image limit, and my wife. It's funny. My wife came in. She saw it. She was like, "What are you doing?" And I told her, and she goes, "Well, that seems like is that what we call a time suck?" And I go, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So
that's fun. The wife could work up only that much enthusiasm. So working on that time suck, I see.
Right, I'm like, well, normal. I'm just sitting in here drawing comics, right? I mean,
another time.
I'm not in here, solving quantum physics or anything.
We got a whole lot of interaction. Zippy the Unicorn last week, and I'll do it again this week. I cut and pasted his Earl. He's cutting up all the old podcasts, or he's doing little segments, which is smart. He's doing little short bits. He's cutting out of Doug's old get-togethers, which since Doug is totally banned.
Oh, yeah.
And I also added Doug's stealth location anymore. He's something called Ed in Exile. So I added the Earl to that.
Doug is the whole thing about Doug is weird.
Well, he can't help himself. He's got to have passion.
The heat on him.
Well, if he feels passionately about something, he's going to tell you.
Oh, sure.
What prompts the passion? And look at this. Rest in peace, Doug. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess I may have outed him. I don't know if I can. No, I don't. I got Zippy. I get 10 people come by and watch these things.
Yeah,
I think Zippy had gotten some good traffic on his stuff. It's funny because
I was just say Zippy and Doug, is he?
No. No.
Okay.
That would have been quite a trick on those evenings where he and Doug were interacting.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Zippy was one of your group. Anyway, so going back to the Fletcher Hanks thing.
Okay.
Wait, are we through with AI? So these
yeah. Let me close that anyway.
Well, let
groovy.
me finish.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's fun to mess with. Here's what I've been telling people a lot online. I graduated from art school in 1989. In February of '89, I graduated from art school. And I went to school. I was trained to be a commercial artist, and what that means is I was trained to do paste up, and to do paste up, and to do like spot illustrations, and to spec type, and to do all that kind of work that back then was pretty prevalent. In the early 90s, Macintosh came out, or they were out, but they come out with, some of these desktop publishing programs.
Kern type. Yep.
Yeah, Kern and type and all that stuff. But the desktop publishing revolution destroyed that industry. I was fortunate because I don't work in that industry. I was fortunate that about the time I worked when I was in school, I got a job at a place that had computers, and so I learned computers. And then when I graduated, I went to a place that had bought computers. Nobody knew how to use them, so they were thrilled to see me because I had a little bit of experience under my belt, and I'm just kind of grown along with them. And I don't do anything, and nobody does anything with desktop publishing. But I mean, it's a whole industry that was, and it was good careers. People, pasting up stuff and working for newspapers and magazines and putting catalogs together and all stuff, and it's gone now. Making flyers, and now it's like if you want a flyer made, it's
buggy whips. Yeah, that's right.
Definitely buggy whips. And so my thing has always been technology is never kind to artists.
No.
And I saw that happen, and then not long after that, back in the 90s, early 2000s, I was doing storyboards for a local advertising agency. They had a client that they had to present storyboards for, and so they'd tell me, we need 8 boards, and here's what we want on them, and I'd draw them. I think they paid me. No, I'm not Scott Sackett the golfer.
I've noticed that the other day. No. I was looking for you. I was looking to add some sort of bit of data about you somewhere.
He owns ScottSackett.com and has for years. And I've tried to buy it. It was idle for a long time before he ever put anything on it. But no, he's a golfer out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Yeah. Well, he probably won't be able to give you one. He might. but that's okay. I can't fix your backswing. So uh, anyway,
Have you
so
ever cut one of the golf balls open that had wrapped in rubber bands? It's kind of fun. I
no.
don't think they make them that way anymore. It's kind of neat. They
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know how they
explode.
make them. When I was a kid, when I was gonna say when I was a kid, I read a story about like I don't know, it was like I think it was like a Leave It to Beaver book or something where he cut one open and it exploded. One of his dads or something.
It's one of those toxic
typical beaver
things that
kind of problem.
they assume. Well, nobody's gonna be stupid enough to try to cut this tough hide off this golf ball, and
God,
right
when
away
I
a
was a
kid
kid, I was always
tasks
cutting
himself.
myself.
Well,
Why wouldn't
Zippy wants to know if he can
why
still
wouldn't I cut
caddy
this
for you.
open?
Yeah,
Yes.
Zitty,
I've thought I'd like to take up golf. I just had
we'll
a
go over
birthday
there to
soon,
Early
so I can see
Wine
retirement sometime in my future.
let's go over to Early Wine and see if they have some sort of first timers kind of thing, and give it a
We'd have to
try.
get some clubs. I wonder if my dad's clubs are still around.
Maybe they supply them. No, surely not.
I think you could rent them.
Yeah.
My problem, and I had a set of golf clubs, and I would go play occasionally. My father-in-law loved to play golf, and he'd drag me out there. But my thing was always, you go on a Saturday, it takes all morning, and I'd be like, I'm tired of this. I mean.
Have you ever played
But what's funny is.
Have you ever played frisbee golf?
Frisbee golf? Oh, yeah. I played frisbee golf the morning I got married. Me and all my groomsmen went and played frisbee golf.
That can be a lot of fun.
And then it kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Along with hacky sack.
What? Yeah. Oh, we used to do hacky sack at work when there was an empty room, and at break time we'd go over and play hacky sack.
Oh man, I need to go to work for you guys. That was my main occupation on North Island.
Oh, it was
playing hacky sack during the breaks.
Playing hacky sack.
Yep.
My wife cracks up because she goes, "Okay, let's see. At your work at 9:00 you stretch, and we have a coffee lid that while we're stretching we throw back and forth." I've told them they've brought other things, but I've told them they cannot have anything heavier than a coffee lid because they're always banging into somebody's desk.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean I got to answer for it if something gets broke, but
somebody dies. Yep.
Yeah, somebody dies. So at 9 we stretch. That's corporate mandated. We stretch like gung ho, man. At 10 we have a break that's 10 minutes, even though most of my employees stretch it out to about 20 or 30.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the guys is mad at another guy, and so they don't go break together. I've noticed their breaks have shortened. And so it's like, and I've talked to both of them, and it's like, I could be a broker between this and kind of patch that up. And I'm like, should I? But
shortens their time goofing off.
Yeah, shortens the goof off time. Absolutely. But okay, so we get 10:00 break. We go to lunch I go at 1. Then at 3 we get another break, and then at 4 we stretch, and then we go home at 5:30. So my wife's like, "There's always something going on." I'm like, "Yeah, you think it's on accident?" It doesn't. I don't do anything. I just wander around.
That's good because that 3D, if that's what you're mostly pulling those guys off of, that will run you on that monitor time and stuff. You gotta break away from that stuff.
Well, yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's the thing, and that's what I've told people is like, I don't, and the stretching is good. I've added some stretches because like we do hand stretches because I don't want anybody having carpal tunnel or anything.
Sure.
So we do some hand stretches that I do when I'm not at work even. But I mean, my big thing is it kind of resets your brain so you don't just sit there and look at the same thing all the time.
Zippy apparently has got the talent for hacky. I mean, I consider it quite a talent.
Oh yeah.
Being able to keep a
absolutely. I don't
hacky in
know
the
how.
air. Keep it. Watch. A lot of consecutives and hacky. That's a talent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Me and this guy
Yeah.
used to
I'm
go out to
not that.
Balboa Park. Actually, we went out there with two. I went out there with two guys that I worked with at North Island one time, and we decided to go to Balboa Park to spread out and do it. Man, I tell you what, we look like Bruce Lee beats Jackie Chan out there. We just went for it with huge springing front kicks to do saves and stuff like that. I tell you what, thinking about
Oh gosh.
that youthful explosion of coordination just seems totally alien to me now, man. I tell you,
Vigor.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it is cool
Yeah.
on that
I
level. I
can
mean,
identify with that for sure.
that motor thing going on with hacky sack is pretty cool when you get halfway good at it. But of course, it is
Oh
basically
yeah.
for having a
And
cigarette.
when we were
Yeah, go ahead. It's for having a cigarette going and a beer in the other hand, and you don't ever actually pick it up. You scuff it and kick it to where you pick it up on your toe and then put it back in play.
yep.
So it's not it was never going to be a sport where it caused a lot of sweating if you played it right.
No, no, no. No, no, no. It's like a stoner thing, man. You know? But we had fun when we were doing it. We always had fun. But one of the guys was real good at it. It was his hacky sack. In fact, I used to have a hacky sack, and I was looking for one when he was around.
I've got a collection.
And I could. Do you really?
Yeah, I've got about 10. I don't know how many I've got. I've got quite a few.
Okay, next time we get together, bring it. We'll play some hacky
We'll
sack.
play some hacky sack. Okay, I will.
Yeah, man.
Well, heck, I think I've always got one out in the truck. But you know what? I never play it. Period. Even though I did out there at Early Wine for a little while. I did.
Oh yeah,
I did go out there and do a little hacky sack. I need to do that again. I'm glad we're
my
talking
site
about
is
it.
messed up.
Hey, yeah, it says
Okay.
that. It says.
Thank you, Zippy. I'll
Yeah.
I'll figure out what's going on.
May have saved Scott some freelance. He's always complaining about his next gig.
Oh yeah.
No telling what he's missed.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to freelance. I just want to draw comics for people.
Mhm.
I don't want
Yeah.
to do logo design. I don't want to do commercial art.
Yeah, commercial art. Who needs it?
But if you have a comic, this thing. Have I showed you this page, Ellis? I'm about done with this page. I worked on this.
Look at
today.
that. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a
Of course,
second.
I'm working backwards. I should be going from top to bottom.
Oh, okay, cool.
What?
That's
What?
that's at the top of the cane. That's yeah. I did.
Oh yeah,
that.
the top of the cane is like a bat.
Yeah.
Okay. If the writer, any of the three writers for this story are listening, I apologize. There's a goofy pun on the end of the story where the guy's name is Man, and they go, "Oh, Batman, what a dumb name," and I'm like, okay. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a goofy little pun that they put in the script, but whatever.
When you said the word man, that is the style that your AI art most evokes. There's a guy named Man that does these great cityscapes. I forget his first name, and man, it really looks a lot like that. Yeah. Yeah, he does them. He does it with a roller in a lot of cases for a lot of big. So yeah, he's not doing detail more than that. He's doing like big roller applications of a lot of his paint. It's kind of cool.
Do you know who Richard Estes is? He's a fine artist, or I don't know if he's still alive. He worked in the '60s. He was considered a photorealist. And he did a lot of paintings in New York City, and it was funny because if you look at them, they're literally just like broken up shapes of color. There's no gradations in them.
It's like when you get close to anything that is really, it's blowing you away. It's like Frazetta. He can get real wacky with color, but really, if you take a Frazetta painting into and he's made a comment about this before, I noticed in some of those Frazetta girl things. He talks about, hey man, I'm about 90% desaturated. Hey, Zippy the Unicorn says he's got to go. Happy drawing. Yeah, Zippy. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks, Zippy. Yeah, thanks for checking out my site.
I'll put your
Thanks
URL.
for the heads up.
Yeah. I'll put your URL in our data along with Doug again.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Yeah,
It's
do
time
that
out.
for sure. Anyway, I was off today. I drew. I worked on this page. I've been reading that Tom Fox, that figure drawing book I got that I've been kind of chunking my way through. I've been reading Adventures in Screen Trade by William Goldman.
Oh yes.
I bought. I need to put an air filter on my car, so I bought an air filter off of Amazon. My car is going to have to go into the shop for its 60,000 mile maintenance, and it's going to cost me probably about $1,500 by the time I leave. So I'm trying to get as much done as I can do, just to kind of cushion the blow a little bit. I mean, it is what it is, but
I'm going to have to try to service my lawnmower because all this damn rain we're having just recently. I got to go out there and deal with my crabgrass, etc. Very shortly. What's the weather going to be like the next few days?
I don't know. I was going to do some stuff today, but it's raining most of the day. I'm off until I'm off. Well, I took today off. The company gave us today and Monday off because Monday's Labor Day. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not. Why would I need to know that? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Labor is a foreign concept.
Oh man.
No, did you know? Did you not know?
I did not know it was Labor Day.
You didn't know, did you?
Labor Day, it's funny though. I should know it because this is dove hunting season. And my dad was all over the month of September when he got out there for those doves. And that's the first time I really ever seriously couple of seasons of that. I put that old shotgun to my shoulder and I shot a few doves. I wasn't all that great at it. Dad was a really a good crack snap shot, and he could he'd kick up a covey of quail. There'd be 3 dead quails that he'd be picking up, and he'd have. And it's cool to have the background where I've seen a cool hunting dog really working.
Oh yeah,
they're really cool. I mean you just wonder because how can they be so damn smart? How can they know that they're part of a team, etc.?
How can they do that when my dog can't even?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
sits there and eats treats.
My boss trains hunting dogs.
Oh, really?
So we have a lot of conversations. Yeah, we have a lot of conversations about dogs. In fact, he's talked about maybe doing that when he retires.
Huh. Well, that's funny.
Dogs.
In this real obscure place that my what do you call your aunt's kid in terms of relationship to you? Anyway,
cousin.
This cousin of mine.
That'd be a cousin.
I know nothing. This cousin of mine is working in this place called Gravely, Arkansas, which you probably have about maybe 2 places on Google Street Maps that it might even show you it. But out in the woods I think it all used to be dirt roads. There's a pretty well built little house out there. And that guy does what do you call it when you're proving the lineage of a dog? It's the
God, what do they call that? The
the breeding
like
of
the
the dog.
paper, like they got
Yeah,
papers
pedigree,
and
pedigree, pedigree.
pedigree. Did somebody tell
Uh,
us that?
no. I think when I heard you saying the papers, I said to myself, pedigree. Yeah, you got it, Scott.
I did not get it. But
Uh,
anyway, whatever. I'll take it.
but anyway, no, I'm almost like imitating you for stuttering or something, and
That's okay. Hey,
I talk like a. I talk like, are you done talking yet? Because I can't understand a damn thing you're saying. Uh, I was talking about myself, my style of talking.
no. I knew you were. I knew you were.
Okay.
I knew you were. Well, it's funny you say that. When I was a kid, I was diagnosed as having a speech impediment, and I had to go to like speech class and there are words that I cannot say.
Oh, I can't say lots of words.
When I was a kid, I couldn't say cat. I remember my grandma kind of telling me, no, say, she in her own loving way, she kind of made fun of me for not being able. I mean, she didn't mean it, and it wasn't really that, but I was raised not to be sensitive, but she'd be like, you got to say I can't remember what I said. I think my C's and my T's sounded the same. But I still frequently which is weird because I talk.
So it'd be like cack. There's a cat.
No, I couldn't get the k out. I had trouble with my k sound. I'd say that. I couldn't roll my tongue right or whatever. I don't know. I think I'm over that, but I still once in a while it comes out, man, where I'm like, I can't say that.
Have you ever heard of kids that have to have their tongues clipped because the little you can you can see it.
Oh, the little thing at the bottom.
Yeah, a little thing on the bottom of your tongue. It can be. Some people don't have it to where it almost won't even free their tongue. It's so long and connected, and my brother had to have his clipped a little bit because it was just too.
Oh my gosh!
I think they had to do it when he was, because they didn't spot it as a problem until he started making sounds and stuff.
Talking.
So, yeah.
What's wrong with this kid?
Yeah, this kid where he can talk again.
It's funny. I work on these pages, Ellis, and I look at them, and I'm like, it doesn't look good. But by the time I get all the pencil on them, I'm like, hey, that looks pretty good.
The transformation in the stages that Heaven's Rejects went through, it was amazing to see the final project finally sitting there with its lettering and all that stuff. It was really cool. It's like, wow, if this wasn't a comic book at any point in the process, it is now.
Oh, I know. It's so bizarre. I mean, it's funny. I mean, you go, okay, I sold 3,800, or so far, 3,800 copies of issue 1. It's like, I mean, I don't know what I'll make off of that. I think I make, I don't know.
You've lost money, but it has to be.
Oh, I've lost money. If I make back the $2,000 I paid for my half of the coloring, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But it'll come out as a graphic novel, and that'll be in print potentially forever. I mean, they got to deal with, I don't know, Simon and Schuster. If you look up Greg Wright, he's listed under the Simon and Schuster authors page, and it even lists Heaven's Rejects as an upcoming project.
Cool.
So I mean, there's a lot of potential there.
It's a springboard.
Once it's out, yeah. Oh, I'd love to have something bigger happen. I don't know what. I mean, everybody talks about, I want to make a movie, and I'm not sure that's the be all end all, but still.
Well, I guess it is if you're smart and canny about it, you're thinking about that. But anymore, all these IPs seem like yeah, we'll do that in-house or do something that keeps you from
Yeah.
having. Now you can still get something that you can have something that resonates so well with the people that you can count on somebody being interested in you. Yeah, that's all you have to do is like, hey, have you seen this? People. I mean, obviously, Hollywood people are the trades that do that
Yeah,
stuff.
they're always
They're
looking for
there.
something.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, and they're fans. They're picking up comics. They're saying, "Hey, this looks cool." That's all you have to do is satisfy that. Hey, this looks cool aspect of your work. And
Yeah. I don't hold out any kind of. I mean, the great thing about this for me is I all I really want to get out of this is more work. So I mean, I
mhm.
don't, I'm not like, oh my gosh, this has got to pay for my whatever. I mean, I'm okay. In fact, if it became a financial windfall, it might cause me more problems. I mean, not problems, but it could be like,
You have to make
if it became
decisions about
something where
this and
it's like,
that. Yeah,
right, yeah, exactly. Like if it is like, hey, we want to promote it, then it's like, well, I got a day job,
yeah.
or I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? There's
Let's hit the
so
road.
if
Yeah.
it well, I mean, and my bosses are super understanding about this kind of stuff. So
Uh,
if I had to, and my company has, but I have a lot of responsibilities. I
yeah.
don't think
Sure.
they would be thrilled if I just said, man, I gotta go promote my comic for 6 months.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. I wouldn't see
They
that
might
happening.
let me. Well, and I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't let me, but it would just, I don't
It'd
know.
be a different
I mean, I like
company
my
when you came
job.
back to it. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, it would be. Oh, I was gone for a weekend and I had like, when well, I'm today. I missed the day, and I'll probably come back. I mean, and the company's closed tomorrow and Monday. I'll probably come back to 80 email I got to answer.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. When we went to uh, New Orleans wasn't too bad, but when we went to Florida, I came back and I had like 450 emails I had to answer when I got back. Well, 450 emails, a lot of them I was copied on stuff, so I didn't really have to answer them, but
Hmm.
I had to read them all to make sure I didn't have to answer
You
them. There
didn't
were
have to.
some that yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't necessarily have to answer every single one of them, but it's a lot of emails, man.
Yep.
But that's, I like being in charge, so that's the downside of that. I'm making up a cityscape. I don't really want this to look like any particular city, and I'll probably succeed at it not looking like a city.
Yeah. I saw your Confederacy of Dunces photo you took.
Oh yeah, with me and the statue, yeah.
Yeah. The statue of
Ignatius J. Riley,
Ignatius J. Riley, one of the great,
my hero, a
more
great American.
subtly written characters of all time. I mean, that guy. It's all between the lines on Ignatius. I mean, it's just so
Oh
good.
yeah,
He just
yeah,
says, "Well, tell me about this hot dog business." I mean,
yeah.
he's
This is
you're not sure what exactly he's going to get out of it, other than hot dogs. But
he's gonna get free hot dogs. That's all he cares about.
yeah,
Get them
that's
hot
all he
dogs,
cares about.
man. That is all he cares about. Oh well.
I did. What are the details? Why did that guy kill himself? I mean, why do you write
Oh,
such a
nobody.
great?
So
Nobody knows, huh?
nobody really knows.
We're
I've
talking
I've
about
read
one
a
of the
couple
great
by
comic novels of all time. And this guy kills
John
himself.
Kennedy Toole.
Yeah.
John Kennedy Toole wrote Confederacy of Dunces in the early '60s. Mostly when he was stationed he got drafted, and he was a like an English teacher
Hmm.
or a professor. I think he had a master's degree in English or like English studies or something. And he had taught in New York for a while at a girls' school, and then he taught, I think, at
Oh, that'll do
Tulane
it.
in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was stationed in was it Cuba? Not Cuba. One of the Dominican Republic or something like that. And his job was to teach recruits English. That was his job, and he was an officer. And he had enough spare time that he wrote this book called Confederacy of Dunces, which is one of my favorite novels.
Yeah.
It's a story about a guy that lives in New Orleans, and he's overeducated for one thing. He's very typical. Now, if it was written now, he'd be written as a liberal, that's one of these overeducated liberals that has a worthless degree. But at the time, he's actually very conservative. But he's got a degree like in medieval study, like a master's in medieval studies or something like that, or philosophy. And everything he does is him. It's him causing havoc in other people's lives.
Yes.
And he just has a series of missive. Well, what happens is his mom is a widow, and she wrecks her car and damages a building. This is in New Orleans, and it's in the French Quarter, and so she has to pay like $1,000. This is in the early '60s, so it's a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
And she's gonna get sued, and so he
has to
doesn't
get
want his
work.
mom.
Yeah.
He has to go to work, and he's never worked. Well, he worked at the library one time, but anyway. So the thing is just this guy that just causes chaos. And what's sad is I know someone so much like this, and it just makes me laugh because it's like, oh God, he's just like Ignatius. Yeah. But he's kind of a slacker. He's real lazy, and but he's lazy, but he's real pompous. Just,
Yeah.
You
And
know,
his mind is always working. Yeah.
oh yeah, and he's always morally outraged about something.
Yeah.
He goes to work at a pants factory, and he leads a revolt among the workers because he feels like they're underpaid. And this is New Orleans. So, if you've ever been to New Orleans, I don't know what the percentage of black population is in New Orleans, but it's very large. We were in New Orleans, and there are a lot of black people in New Orleans, and so he leads this revolt of these black workers against the white office manager and the secretary, and he's trying to get them to beat him with clubs and stuff. They're like, we're not doing that, and they're like, no, you must. He's unhappy because he couldn't cause a lot of chaos.
Yeah, he couldn't touch off what he wanted to touch off.
But the book I like it because I like the character, but and it's set in New Orleans, which is one of my favorite cities because it's full of characters, and the book is full of characters. And that's everything I've read about the book. That's what they always talk about is it's a book that portrays New Orleans kind of maybe not as it is now, but at least as it was in the 60s, with just these weird, New Orleans is just a place that has odd. I mean, when I was there, I was walking down the street and I asked this guy, hey, how's it going? And he goes, pretty good. How are you doing? I go, I'm doing great, man. And he goes, do I know you? And I go, no. And he goes, why are you asking me how I'm doing? I said, I'm just being polite. And he's like, do you really want to know how I'm doing? I said, if you want to tell me, I'll be happy to listen. And he talked to me for probably an hour, Ellis, about he was a guy that he did busking. He played music on the street for money, and he had played for 2 hours in front of some coffee shop, and he made $3 in change.
Huh.
And
he must not be very good.
It was funny because very conservative. Oh, well, he was just talking about people are so cheap now.
Yeah.
And he was very, very conservative guy. We talked about politics and stuff. And very conservative. I said, let me ask you something. I said, I come to New Orleans. I said, where I'm from is relatively conservative. I said, if I come to New Orleans, I see New Orleans as a very liberal city. I said, is that true? And he goes, well, he said, here's the thing. Everybody is seeing how things are costing them more, and how that the economic pressure is causing people to reconsider some of their liberal
Yeah.
ideals.
Yep. A conservative is a liberal that's been mugged. Yep. Nope. It's still true
Yeah,
today.
yep. But unfortunately, now we're getting mugged by the government.
Yep. Oh yeah. Just
Because
straight up.
you can't.
Straight up.
Oh
Not even
gosh.
trying to hide it.
No, I mean, and it's like, well, how are we going to pay for this? Well, the president has saved us $1 trillion in the debt. They reduced the deficit by $1 trillion. And it's like, well, okay, first off, is that really true, or is it based on some accounting thing? Second off, so we're going to go backwards. We're saving money, and you're going to spend,
Yeah. No. They're just out and out lying about almost everything that they are handing out anymore.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hearing
And that's
from
it's the thought police.
yeah. Somebody coming for me.
Hopefully not.
Probably the cat.
Probably the cat. The cat will eventually do you in.
Oh man, that cat almost killed me the other night. It scared me so bad. There's a little, well, of course it's my fault. There's a little step up so it can get up to the bed if it feels like it, because it's such a fat sloth. And so I've got a little step up close to the bed, and it hit that running. See, the doggone thing ordinarily comes into a room and starts whining and complaining right away, so it makes its presence known. This time it just hit that step up in the middle of the night with me half asleep. It's like, my God, trying to give me a heart attack.
Well, yeah, our dog sleeps in a kennel, and but Peaches does not like thunderstorms, and so the other night when I came to bed, it was because it was so bad. Peaches was in bed with us, or Michelle will let the dog in bed with us when it's thundering because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched
What?
I watched a documentary about Phil Tippett yesterday. Last night, and it's on Amazon Prime. Do you have Prime?
Yeah, I do. Is it something about talking about the preliminary stuff he did before Mad God came out or something?
Yeah. It's an overview of his entire career.
Mm-hmm. But he's been working on Mad God for so long, it had to include Mad God.
It talks about that a little bit. Well, did you see the email thread where Barry was saying he saw? Have you seen?
Yeah,
Mad God?
He didn't like it all that much. No, I haven't seen it. I'd have to pay for it somehow.
No, oh yeah, he didn't. Barry didn't like it. He said it was just, and they showed clips from it, and I think Barry disagreed, but from the clips they showed, I think it was all stop motion.
It mixes itself. It was early on committed to being stop motion, but later on it said, this 3D, as long as our textures are done organically, we'll do 3D.
But it's not. But it's not live action.
No. Well, actually, I think it does synthesize a little bit of live action in it as well.
Okay. But anyway, it was interesting. I knew nothing about him when you guys were talking about him a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know who he was. And so it was interesting to see his career. He had done it early on when he was younger. He did something called the Crater Lake Monster. Have you ever seen that?
I think I've started it before. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. I think it may have Robert Mitchum. Robert Mitchum in it. I'm gonna look.
No. It's very low budget.
I'm gonna look.
It was done in 70. Yeah, or maybe it's late. No, it's Crater Lake Monster, and it kind of it would come out in 79, and it kind of came off of the I don't know if you remember the movie The Legend of Boggy Creek or whatever it was
Oh
about
yeah.
Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was kind of like that. It was when the Bigfoot Loch Ness monster thing was kind of big, and so that was it. And so that it was kind of a Loch Ness monster movie.
Yeah. Pardon me. Yeah, it came out in '77, and I don't know what I'm thinking of, but Robert Mitchum Jr. is in some sort of monster movie. Let me see if I can.
Oh yeah. Oh, Robert Mitchum Jr.
Yeah, Jr. The one that looks just like his dad.
Oh, gotcha.
It's only giving me Robert Mitchum.
I had trouble
That's
finding.
weird.
And he worked on a couple other movies. I couldn't find much information about him. I was hoping to, but it was all stop. He was doing stop. There was some guy that was interviewed. He grew up in California, and there was some show was interviewing a guy that did stop motion movies, and so Phil, as a teenager, contacted him, and so he would drive up to wherever, and they'd work on movies.
His own version of Harryhausen deciding to get in touch with Willis O'Brien.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that was the thing, is he saw King Kong when he was like 5, the 33 King Kong,
Yeah.
and like Harryhausen had inspired him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize he'd worked on RoboCop or RoboCop 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tippett used to be the guy. Of course, we got the models from him when Jurassic Park. Not him necessarily.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, they talked about him working on Jurassic Park and how it crushed everybody was when in the end they said, we're gonna do 3D.
Yep.
Oh.
I had something go down the pipe wrong myself just as we talked. Well, I think I've got hiccups. I think it's time to end the broadcast.
No. Yeah, it must be time to go. Oh, yeah. I'm losing my voice. Anyway, okay. Are you going to sign off?
Yes, I am. We both just hit our expiration point. Here we go. What do you call that? Okay.
I think